Welcome back to another episode of We Don't Know What to Watch, the podcast where two guys watch random movies and talk about them. With me, as always, is the amazing, the incredible, the Bob Belcher to my Linda Belcher, Kyle Mulford. How's it going, Kyle? And I'm Noah Saturn.
I'm not sure I know who those are, or I probably should, but
You've never seen Bob's Burgers?
oh no, I haven't actually. So that's why I don't know.
Ah, for shame.
I have
You'd
never
love it.
seen
It's a
an
really good
episode.
show.
I've always meant to watch it, but yeah, I just have not gotten around to watching even a single episode of that. And now they have a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I better watch it so then we can watch the movie and talk about it on We
Very
Don't Know What to
true.
Watch.
Mm-hmm. All right, so this is one of our mini episodes, sometimes maxi episodes, where we just talk about what we've been watching. So, Kyle, what you watching?
We haven't recorded in quite a while, so I'm just going to go over some of the highlights. I watched Jungle Cruise on Disney Plus from 2021.
That was a fun one. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it was a simple story, kind of a fun little twist at the end there, and we watched it with the whole family, and we all enjoyed it. It was a fun ride. It was a fun ride down the river.
I like how they still kept the puns from the original ride.
Yeah, the Rock doing puns through an entire Jungle Cruise movie was quite great.
Yes.
I'm a fan of The Rock and Emily Blunt, and they played well together. So
Definitely.
if you've got a family, I highly recommend this one.
Also, all 3 minutes of Paul Giamatti.
Oh yeah, because he was the one at the little village there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
No, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was basically Emily Blunt was the daughter of some explorer or something like that, and trying to find this flower that only bloomed during a certain time and was like the key to long life or whatever. And so she goes and finds The Rock as a tour guide, and hijinks ensue and lots of puns.
Oh, yes.
It's a very dad joke movie.
Also, I love the fact they just went with the obvious sound cue and just played Welcome to the Jungle during the weird bad guys plant people reveal.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, the music was weird in this because it was it Welcome to the Jungle that was like the only instrumental in the movie?
I don't remember.
Yeah, the music choices were kind of weird in this movie, but it was still a fun ride.
Yep.
Anyway, then I also watched on DVD. I watched Black Friday from 2021. This is a horror comedy with Bruce Campbell. He's like the manager at some toy store or whatever, and they're getting ready for Black Friday, getting ready to open the doors, and then all of a sudden an alien lands in the store, and they have to deal with that. And it could have been a lot better considering it's Bruce Campbell, but it was a fun time. I think this was a good Friday night with your friends kind of horror comedy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Nothing spectacular, but kind of a fun time.
It's one of those things where you can watch it, but then you can still have a conversation without missing too much.
I think so, yeah. So not a high recommend, but if you're bored and you got some friends over and just want to pop something on. Then I got on DVD a 1949 film called White Heat, and this is going to be a very high recommend.
Yeah, it's definitely one of Cagney's best.
Yeah, and I had never seen this. This was one of my blind spot movies, and so I finally watched it, and boy, this was good. James Cagney plays a gangster, leader of a gang, and they pull off a train heist and rob some money off of a train, and then they kind of have to lay low for a while, and there's a rival like person in the gang trying to steal his top spot as the leader, and meanwhile, James Cagney gets these headaches where he's like kind of slowly going crazy, and the headaches kind of like just drive him nuts. And then you get the famous, "Look at me, Ma, top of the world." Or no, it's "Made it, Ma, top of the world." And just a great performance by James Cagney and a really good movie. If you're into old gangster flicks from the 40s and 50s, and you haven't seen this already, because I mean, this is a very popular one, but it's popular for a reason. So...
Oh yeah,
and then
it's awesome.
And then on Tubi TV, I had a rewatch of an '86 movie called Platoon from Oliver Stone. This is good. I like this one. Oliver Stone is kind of hit and miss with me, but this was just kind of an interesting look at how Vietnam just messed with people when they went over there.
I've never seen this one.
Charlie Sheen goes over, and he's someone who actually like volunteered to go, and he goes in, and he's like this naive young kid, and by the end, he's a cold-blooded killer, because that's what did to your head over there. It's got him and Tom Berenger and Willem Dafoe, and I can't think of who else is in it. It's a really good cast, though, so I'd recommend this one. And then I watched Invasion USA from 1985 on Amazon Prime. A little Chuck Norris action.
Oh boy.
It's not a great movie, but it's fun. You get Chuck Norris living in a swamp, and he's like this ex-military or secret, I don't even know what he was. And then some Russians come over, and they're going to try and infiltrate America and whatnot, and they come into town blowing up neighborhoods with rocket launchers. And this is a canon movie, and what's great about this one is that when they come in and they destroy a neighborhood with rocket launchers, they literally destroyed a neighborhood, because there was a neighborhood that was going to be torn down, and they're like, they went to the directors and were like, well, do what you want to do, because this is all getting torn down anyway. So they really did blow up houses in a neighborhood.
Nice.
So, and then you get Chuck Norris beating people up. So, fun time.
Does he do a roundhouse kick?
I don't remember, but I'm sure he did somewhere in there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I rewatched The Big Lebowski from 1998. It's been a long time since I'd seen this one, and it's the dude. It's the dude, man. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude.
That rug tied the room together, did it not?
That rug really tied the room together. I pissed on the rug, man. I just love this movie. It's just one of those mix-up movies. Jeff Bridges plays the dude, and he's just a slacker and a bowler with his friends Steve Buscemi and John Goodman. And there's another Lebowski in town whose wife owes money, and some people come and beat him up instead. And then hilarity ensues, really.
Yep.
And it's a great movie. I love that movie.
It's beloved. Created a religion.
Right. A religion that really tied the room together.
Mm-hmm.
Then I finally, on Netflix, watched RRR from 2022.
Finally.
And I have to say, this movie is friggin' amazing.
I told you.
This is 3 hours of gloriousness, and I can't recommend it enough. I have to say, I absolutely loved the prison breakout scene, and
yeah, that's definitely a highlight.
I mean, I loved everything, and it is a Bollywood movie, or what is this one? Since it's like in the other area, it's Tollywood or something like that.
This is Tollywood because it's in southern India.
Yeah. So, but there is some. The music is there's less singing in it, but there is one where like he's being tortured and singing at the same time to rouse everybody up and be like, yeah, let's get them. And then there's an epic dance battle in this movie too, which is amazing.
Yes. That dance sequence, it's so good.
And there's so much corny stuff that they just do so straight faced, and they're so in it that you just go with it and it doesn't seem corny.
It's very earnest and it's very sincere, and that's really part of the I think part of the charm.
Yeah, I just watch this movie. That's all I got to say to everybody.
Yep, RRR, definitely. It's just fun for the whole family.
And then on Blu-ray, I rented American Underdog from 2021. This is about fellow Iowa boy Kurt Warner. He played for the Panthers, the UNI Panthers, and then he tried to go to the NFL, and he got on the Green Bay Packers for like one practice, and then they kicked him off, and then he didn't play. He didn't play for a while, and then he was recruited to the that short-lived arena football. Do you remember that?
No, I think that was before my time.
That it came and went like maybe it wasn't maybe 5 to 10 years ago. No, it was more than that because I'm old. Yeah, there was this indoor like arena football. It was like fast paced football, and he played on the Iowa Barnstormers. And then he got discovered again, and he went to the NFL and won Super Bowl championships and became Super Bowl MVP. So
Don't forget, according to that film, Iowa's just a bunch of cornfields, but they do have Hy-Vee.
yes, he did work at a Hy-Vee. Yeah, and even like the scene where he beats his future wife. He's at a bar, and it's like a country barn dancing bar, like
Mhm.
all line dancing stuff. I'm going, I live in Iowa. I've never been in a line dancing bar.
Well, you
I
don't
mean,
drink,
I'm not
so.
saying they don't exist. I'm just saying that, that's they I think they were doing that just because it's Iowa and it's Hicksville.
Mhm.
But it was still a good movie. I really enjoyed this. And I like Zachary Levi, so he played Kurt Warner in this. I would recommend that one. Uh, on Amazon Prime, I watched Thank God It's Friday from 1978. This this is a great uh, kind of a one night movie. It all happens in one night. It tells like the story of a bunch of people going to this disco that's supposed to have like a big dance party, and then the Commodores are supposed to show up at the end of the night, and then Donna Summer actually shows up as a different character, but she sings a Donna Summer song in the movie. and,
Nice.
and the nightclub is owned by a sleazy Jeff Goldblum, and
We'll say that's a pretty early Goldblum.
yeah, he's a very young Goldblum, and it's just one of those one night at a disco club, and then the Commodores do show up at the end and sing a song, and then the movie's over, and everybody goes their own way. And I kind of dug this movie.
Nice.
that's that's on Amazon Prime. Check it out.
So is this a prequel to Friday with Ice Cube?
Yes, I it must be.
It's the only
Uh,
explanation.
then I subscribed to Shudder, and on there I watched 1979 film Tourist Trap. I actually watched. I wanted to start watching the Joe Bob Briggs stuff, and so I watched his, the Joe Bob Briggs show with his breaking up the movie into
Mhm.
little segments. But Tourist Trap is a fun movie. 1979, a bunch of kids or a bunch of college students or whatever break down the side of the road, and then they end up in this wax museum type place where some old dude is there and gonna help them, but he makes like these creepy mannequins and wax dolls and all this stuff, and of course there's a killer.
And then it goes really well.
Yeah, and everything goes very well.
Yep.
This is a really fun movie too. It's kind of cheesy and campy. It's 1979. It's one of those really early slasher flicks, but this one worked really well. So
Yeah,
I'd
there's
recommend this one.
also a Riff Tracks commentary for this film, so that is also very funny.
Oh, nice. I bet that would be good.
Yes.
Then I bought the 5 disc Blu-ray set for Rambo, and because I had never seen any of them before. Growing up an action lover, I watched all Sylvester Stallone, all Schwarzenegger in the 80s and going into the 90s, and somehow I have gone my entire life without seeing a Rambo movie. So I
Wow.
finally watched Last Blood from 1982,
You mean
and
First Blood?
First Blood, not Last Blood. They drew Last Blood. No, he drew the Last Blood. No, sorry. Yes, First Blood from 1982, and I loved this movie. This was great. It really had a lot to say about PTSD and how Vietnam vets were treated when they came back home, and then you go on to the others, which I can't wait to watch because that's all just like, let's throw that seriousness out and just blow shit up.
Yep.
No, this is a really good movie, and I liked Stallone's performance in this too. He kind of wanders into town, and a sheriff played by Brian Dennehy chases him off. It tries to chase him off, and he's like, "Hey, I just want to get dinner or whatever," and then he's all like, "You lazy vets coming back," and blah blah blah, and then he gets the whole police force to hunt him down in the woods. But of course, he's a highly trained military, well, some sort of special forces or something. So,
Yeah. Then they get Colonel Troutman or whatever.
yep, Colonel Troutman comes in. So no, I'd highly recommend this. I can't believe I've gone my whole life without watching First Blood. Then on DVD, I'm only going to mention this because stay away from it. From 2021, I watched Licorice Pizza, the new
I
PTA movie.
seems like people love this movie or don't like this movie. He's gonna be she can be divisive, I guess.
Yeah, this has got a lot of love from critics, but I'm wondering if they watched the same movie where this is kind of like a slice of life movie from the 70s, but it's this 15-year-old boy who was like a child actor and he likes to start up all these businesses to try and make money. And then he runs into this 25-year-old woman who is like doing photo shoots at the high school where he's at. And then they start hanging out, which is fine. But then the whole movie just random stuff happens. Some stuff feels completely out of place in the movie. It's just a bunch of random crap going on. But the whole movie, you're meant to be rooting for these two to get together. And then finally they, get together and have a big kiss at the end. I'm going, it's still a 25-year-old woman and a 15-year-old boy.
Yeah.
That
crosses
was
me
ruining
down.
it for that was ruining it for me for the entire movie. The entire movie, that's all I could think about is I'm like, it's a 25-year-old and a 15-year-old. What is this? But maybe I don't know. Maybe that was normal back in the 70s and it shouldn't have been, but I was like, you could have at least made him like 17 or 18. Like
Or made her
like
like 21 or 22.
well, because this is kind of like the "Call Me by Your Name" thing. I'm going, if it was switched, like "Call Me by Your Name," if it wasn't like, oh, we finally got a lovey gay movie. Well, if it was like a college age kid going after this professor's like 17-year-old daughter, there'd be an uproar. I kind of feel the
Mhm.
same way with Licorice Pizza. If this was a 25-year-old man like going after like trying to get together with a 15-year-old girl in this movie, we'd have an uproar.
Yeah, I feel like it could be handled well, like, but once I didn't see the movie, but if you treat it like as a crush and then like you make it clear that she has no interest in him.
Oh no, they made it clear that at the end they were going to get together. So what I don't recommend that at all. PTA is going down in my opinion. Like I haven't liked his last couple of movies. Just not a fan anymore.
Mm-hmm.
For different reasons. Like his last two movies I didn't like for different reasons. Then on a brighter note, on DVD, I rented and watched the whole family The Bad Guys from this year, 2022. This is an animated movie off of kids' books
That looks
about
fun. I've seen some of the books.
uh yeah, and we really liked this movie. This was a DreamWorks movie. Bunch of bad characters. There's the wolf and a snake and a spider and a shark and a piranha, and they're like, in the stories we're always bad guys, so like we just kind of clung to that, and they rob things and all that, and then they have to try and become good in the movie for reasons, and the reasons are cool, and I like it, and I like the story, and it was this was another really fun movie to watch with the whole family. So
From a premise point of view, it kind of reminds me of Wreck-It Ralph.
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's true, because he's like, well, I just wreck stuff and I don't want to do that anymore.
Exactly.
Then on DVD, but this is also on Shudder, I watched the 2017 film One Cut of the Dead. And this one I'm not going to say a lot about. I'm just going to say this is like, I think it's a Japanese movie where there's a group of people in an abandoned building filming a zombie movie. And then all of a sudden it turns into a real zombie movie where zombies are attacking them while they're trying to film a zombie movie. And then from there, it's just like this movie is like the craziest, weirdest meta movie I've ever seen, and I loved every minute of it. And
Nice.
I would highly recommend it. It's on Shudder. I don't want to say any more about it because I don't want to give anything away. Just you need to go
Does it
watch
get
this
crazy in the sense of like Dead Alive crazy?
one. No,
Oh, so there's no lawnmower?
there is no lawnmower, but just the premise and the way and the way they told the story was something I'd never seen before. So it was
Nice.
yeah, like I said, this is one that I do not want to spoil at all. So I highly recommend it. Then finally, I purchased a Criterion Collection Blu-ray of the Lone Wolf and Cub series, and I watched Lone Wolf and Cub's Sword of Vengeance from 1972.
Yes, and I did watch these. I also have this Blu-ray set, and I did talk about them on the podcast. So
Yeah, I really liked this one. This had a lot of fun sword action in it, and I wasn't expecting like all the blood and like blood spraying and people getting chopped off at the legs and heads rolling and you
yeah,
got
they definitely lean into the more exploitation aspects of it.
yeah, you've got an executioner who gets framed for something, and then he goes off on his own, and him and his son, because his wife gets killed, and he just becomes this sword for hire assassin that he just hires himself out to kill people, and he's like the best swordsman, and everyone knows him because he used to be the executioner for the country, and so everybody fears him when they see him. And then when he does his sword fighting, you can see why. And
Yep, and
it's
this was based off the legendary comic or legendary manga of the same name.
yeah, and I have not read that, so I might have to watch these movies and then seek that out. So, but that's some of what I've been watching. I've got a lot of stuff in there that I would recommend. So hopefully, people go check out some of that.
Yeah, definitely a lot of great stuff. So now I guess it's my turn, and I watched one movie because I was extremely busy during those 6 weeks because I got married. Yay!
Congratulations! Yay! And
Kyle,
I
do you
made
want to
it to
know
the
what my one
reception, and
movie
it was
was?
wonderful. What was your one movie?
I'm sure you do. The movie I watched was Woo! I saw
Was what?
the Bob's Burgers movie.
Oh, that's why you were talking about that. Duh. I should have figured that out. And how was it?
It was I loved it. If you like the show, I'd highly recommend it, but I'll give a brief overview. So it's about a family, the Belcher family. There's Bob and there's Linda, and they own and operate the restaurant Bob's Burgers. And they get help from their three kids: Tina, who's like an awkward eighth grader; Jean, who's like a silly middle schooler who's all about fart noises and making strange music; and then there's Louise, who may or may not be like totally evil, but she's the real schemer. And their restaurant is just kind of always barely staying afloat due with the rent and other problems going on. So it's very much a working class show about just kind of like their weird personalities and their weird family and all the people around in like this kind of oceanside town. So the movie is basically they have 1 week to make a loan payment, and at the same time, a giant sinkhole opened in front of the restaurant, so no customers can get in. And also at the same time, it's like the 80th anniversary of the theme park that they're right next to. So all of this is kind of crashing together. And of course, because it's Bob's Burgers, it's also a musical.
Nice. That sounds fun. I really do need to check out this show. I've heard good things about it. So
It definitely feels like in that same Simpsons and Futurama vein of kind of smart but also dumb comedy.
I need to watch the show in order to watch the movie?
I feel like it would definitely help at least to watch a few episodes to be familiar with the characters.
Okay. I want to apologize to our listeners for if there's awkward and weirdness transitioning to your movies and the conversation because you started freezing up for a little while there.
Yeah, we had some internet connection issues.
So, but I think it's all better now.
So yeah, that's what I watched, and then I got married, and so that's why we were gone for so long.
But now we're back.
What do you plan to watch next, Kyle?
I think I'm gonna continue watching some more Lone Wolf and Cub.
Yeah, those are excellent, and what's also nice about those is they're all pretty short, so they're all like 90 minutes, so you can just pop one in, enjoy it for a while, and then not think about it after it's done.
I also purchased the 25 film Zatoichi set from Criterion, and I was looking through that, and I think all 25 films are 90 minutes or less.
Nice.
So I'll get through some of those too, maybe.
If you watch all 25, I will be impressed.
I don't think I can do that in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
What do you plan on watching next?
Let's see. I need to rewatch the Lego Batman movie. That one's for sure. But I also need to watch stuff like I missed The Northman in theaters, and I know that's on streaming now, so I'll probably watch that.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward
And
to
I
that
want
one.
to see the horror movie The Black Phone with Ethan Hawke. That one looks like a lot of fun too.
I am I'm waiting for that one to come out on Blu-ray. I don't know if it's out yet as of this recording, but I am a fan of Joe Hill's writing, who of course is Stephen King's son. I am a fan of C. Robert Cargill's screenplays, who did the screenplay for this, and I am a fan of Scott Derrickson. So I really like this team. So I am really, and of course Ethan Hawke is great. So I am really stoked for the Black Phone, and I hope that it's as good as I think it's going to be.
Yeah, I hope that one definitely looks like so much fun. I've heard good things about that one. Oh, and of course, I'll go to the movie theater to see Thor: Love and Thunder because it's a Marvel movie, and they have Captive of My Soul. Where if I don't go see a movie in theaters with them every few months, a few times a year, then I will be sent back to the 34th dimension.
Uh-oh, I might be going there soon. I still haven't seen Eternals, No Way Home, or Multiverse of Madness.
For shame.
So, but yeah, that's what we've been watching, what we're going to watch, and let us know what you've been watching and what's good and what's out there on streaming land too. In the meantime, you can catch us on Twitter at AwesomeKM.
I'm at Noah_Saturn. That is spelled SATERN.
And we are on Instagram at We Don't Know What to Watch. And you can email us, we don't know what to watch at gmail.com. And until next time, keep watching.
Keep watching movies and, yeah, watch more movies.